Okay. Going on. 75 Warren Avenue Site Plan Review. And, you know, based on the site walk a couple of days ago and other things that have been going on, I think maybe until things get a little bit more solidified, it's probably better if we just, you know, continue and to a date certain, and then take it from there. So, what date should we continue to, Betsy?
The meeting on October 1st is full. The meeting on October 15th.
Well, let me ask you, before we establish a date, we actually need some information from the traffic consultant.
Right, we need information from the traffic consultant. We need information from Ogilvie's on their business plan, because there was concern about expansion on the site, and we need information on parking, because there's supposed to be 36 parking spaces for the new building, and they were showing less of that.
Okay, so yes.
So we are, we finalized the proposal or the submittal for the Board of Appeals, and we're asking that we bypass the variance that would be needed for the required parking for the site.
You're asking that of the ZBA?
We are. Yeah, well, because the last time we met with you formally, you wanted them to sign off on the project before you looked at it again. So we've gone through that entire process. The packet's complete. We're actually submitting it tomorrow.
Submitting it to whom?
The Board of Appeals.
Okay, so they haven't actually had a hearing on it yet?
We've been communicating back and forth with them. We haven't sat down and had a hearing yet. So that was the first step.
All right, so are you scheduled? When did they put you on the agenda? Do you know?
I'll have a better idea.
Then filed it.
They haven't actually filed?
It's being submitted tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
taken 2 months since we've last met to get everything together.
Okay, that sounds fine.
So
So why don't you well,
You have to continue to a date certain.
yeah, so but let's give them time. Well, we could do one of two things. We could continue to a date, and then if everything's still not ready by that date, we'll continue it again. Maybe that's the best thing to do.
So, I'm not sure when the first one in November is. I didn't bring my calendar down.
Do you think the 15th of October will not be too soon?
Too soon.
I think it's going to be too soon.
Too soon.
It sounds like 5 weeks. So November sounds like a better.
November 5th is the first Wednesday.
But that's, we meet on the 29th as well, October. So
Yes,
2 in a row.
you're meeting on the 29th, so.
So we're doing one on the 5th? Because we have election day the day before.
Okay, so,
The 12th.
So it would
12th
be-
is 2 weeks.
But do you meet every other week or just the first and third of the month?
Every 2 weeks. Well, what's
right now,
October
because of
meeting.
what we have going, I've scheduled the 1st, the 15th, and the 29th.
Right.
So
Okay.
then, but if we don't do 2 in a row, then we run into problems with Thanksgiving.
Right.
So if we did the 5th and the 19th,
Well,
okay?
is there some legality about the election on the 4th?
Yeah, I thought there was.
Is that, is
I
that
thought we
24
couldn't have it on election day.
we can't have it on election
As
day.
long as that's the
But
issue.
we're not having it on election day.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so if we continued it to November 5th at 7:45?
Okay, November 5th. And then if it's still up in the air, we'll
That,
just...
yeah. That gives us enough time to at least gather more information.
Then that
Okay,
should,
so
that
we
should
need-
give our traffic engineer enough time to at
Parking.
least gather data.
Okay.
Okay, so parking, business plan,
So the business plan piece, we have the package that you've requested last meeting completed. It's complete. We're just waiting for that Board of Appeals piece. That's kind of the one that you wanted us to pass through first.
Okay.
did, Did you ask for additional zoning relief because you don't have frontage?
Yeah, we did. So we met with Maureen in John Field. John thinks that we're kind of in that place where we need a variance. After discussing
Only one?
For the parking.
for the parking piece, yeah.
What about the fact you don't have frontage?
That didn't seem to be an issue
Okay.
From John's perspective.
What about the
The multi-use,
yeah,
so that's not an issue either.
okay. Is he gonna write an opinion on that?
He has, but
has.
we're really, the parking seems to be the biggest hurdle, so we're gonna kind of work through that, and
Okay.
then we feel like everything else is in place from there.
Right, and the other zoning pieces that access from, over residential land, to go across residential land to get to industrial or commercially zoned property.
Correct.
Did you talk to him about that as well?
We did, and obviously, change of easement has been a big issue, and we've been working through that collectively. And now that it seems like that's not going to be changed,
Right.
there shouldn't be any change of use.
But if the easement changes,
If it does change, and all of the proposed changes up until this point really don't affect,
the only problem is your road is not in the easement.
we understand that, and after looking at that with the engineer and the civil, we think it may be because of that tree. Maybe it was, let's preserve the tree, let's not cut the tree down. And so there's a little bit of a gap there between where the road is and where the actual documented easement is.
Right, but should the two get lined up so that
And
you're actually in the easement?
If
or-
they need to be, then, I think that's something to talk about. It still doesn't affect the project.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, it's just, that's
Yeah.
a technical issue.
It is, and I guess the
Especially
question
the
is,
easement-
who does that fall on? If there's going to be a residential piece going in, that's a town project, or is that something that falls on Ogilvie's? Given that the use has been in place for
But if the easement changes, do you need a variance? Because is it a new easement then? That's the
We've
question.
discussed that with Jonathan White, and it didn't really seem to bother him too much or cause too much concern. He feels like we're going to be able to get through the parking piece, and there not be any more issues there with the site or the use of the site.
Okay,
Wasn't that talk about where the easement is now to relocate it on the site map?
Move it over.
And change the lines, if you will, on the site.
Yeah.
and the
yes, yeah, that's the town's intention, I know that's the town's intention. So that your road and the easement actually are
Line up.
in the same
And I think
place.
that makes sense. If the town
Right.
feels that that's what
Yeah.
they want to do.
Yeah, that's one for the selectmen, I guess, because
Yeah.
the town's gonna have to change the easement.
Yeah.
Well, that avoids, possible clouds on, things in the future.
Right.
On property and stuff, so it's good to line them up, it's good to get that cleared up. And my only advice, but the other questions about whether or not you do or do not need relief from the zoning board of appeals, I would get whatever, John Field is saying in writing and clear. Make sure that
Right.
it covers your.
We kind of went through all the zoning bylaws with him in Maureen, and we kind of seem to fall in this gray area. And
That's
we're
the
trying.
nature of law.
We're learning that.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to hopefully get the project passed without having to go the variance route, because that seems like it's going to be more time consuming to the project.
Well, if you're talking to Jonathan White, I don't know if you've covered those issues.
We have.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, and
All right.
he sat in on the last two meetings here.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, he was just here for other matters. So.
No, but I mean, in terms of getting an opinion from your side of the table on
Right.
on the zoning issues.
Yeah, and so
Because
he's submitting that tomorrow.
what you don't want, frankly, what you don't want is a challenge.
Right. No, we understand. We understand.
That property where the easement is now, is that residential at this point?
Mhm.
Yes,
It is.
that's resident. It's zone residential. So,
One point on this agenda list,
Yes,
it mentions that the proposed building is 7,500 square feet.
yeah,
It's only 5,000 square feet.
But there was, my understanding is that there was a second floor that was adding additional square footage.
Yeah, the footprint's 5,000 square feet.
no, but the area counted.
Okay.
It's more than the footprint, it's
But
the
you're
area
putting a
of the
second
building.
floor?
It's going to be a half mezzanine in the
Yeah.
back,
Right,
yes.
But it's area,
Okay, wasn't just square footage. All
Right.
All right.
okay, good, so we're gonna continue to what time on the, what was it, the 5th?
At
7:45? So, motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we'll see you again on the 5th of November.
Great, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Next up.
We have some loose ends.
You're looking for guidance. Can we put the first item there, 105 Concord, towards the end?
Yep, yep.
Just so that people who want to wade in can talk to us.
Mhm.
I got a phone call from one of the neighbors, and apparently the neighbors would like to come, but some of them are going to be
Mhm.
late. So if we could put that one off until the end, that would be great.
Okay.